Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank, episode 62-ish. 3? 2. I'm going to guess 2. On this episode, I talked to my friend Cort McCown. Cort is a comedian, and he's been a friend of ours for, like, ever. I guess I've known him for 7 or 8 years now. He's awesome. He runs the Playboy Comedy in Las Vegas. If you guys have ever been to Las Vegas and seen cool shows, I've done that show a bunch. So have a lot of my friends. And Cort's weird because, one, he's a sober alcoholic. He's completely stone cold at this point. And two, he came to L.A. when he was super young, not like a teenager or anything, but like 20, 21. And he started working. It was like a teen idol, sort of. He was in Can't Buy Me Love. I found out later he was in some other movies. He was like a working actor and was like a young heartthrob in Hollywood, and he hung out with all the fucking stars, and he partied with all of them, and he partied hard. So we pretty much just I wanted for this interview, I wanted to do it with, I don't know why, but I had in my head to do it with Steve Simone and Steve Rannazzisi and Cort. I just thought, I don't know why, I thought that would go well. I got the idea when I was with both of them, I think. And so I thought it'd be cool, but then I could never get all of them here together, and then I didn't have anything recorded for earlier this week, so I was like, fuck it. Rannazzisi was here, and Steve Simone had to go work on Steve Burns' show. Steve Burns on a show on TBS that they're shooting now. He's so cool. He just brings in comedians all the time. And I'm like, thanks, man, for bringing me in. He asked me to come in for auditions too, of like small parts, big parts. It doesn't matter. And he's like, dude, I'd way rather have a fucking comedian on set than an actor. And then we just commiserated about how much douchebags, how big douchebags, whatever actors are. But anyway, so Rannazzisi was here visiting from New York for like a day. So I was like, fuck it, let's just do it. Hopefully Simone can get out in time, and he did not. So we couldn't come, but it was still really good. Steve Rannazzisi, you might know from my first Skeptic Tank episode. He also was my co-host for the Jason Tebow breakup episode. And he's just a really funny guy, and he knows Cort really well. They're really good friends. Every time Steve gets in trouble with a girl, he stays with Cort. And then I just thought he knows a lot of those stories that would really help bring stuff out. And it did. Steve had great questions. He really did. So it ended up being a really fun discussion. Cort was cool enough not to hide anything. He was even cool enough to share his sexual encounters, which I like. Because some people are like, well, you shouldn't say these things. I'm like, well, who cares? Who fucking cares? Everybody's fucked at this point. Quit acting like it's bad. Anyway, this is waitress I used to always try to hook up with at the Comedy Store, and she would never let me. And one day she was like, I don't care what people think about me or what they say. I'm not a slut. And I was like, I don't care if you're a slut. I just want you to be a slut with me. I don't care what you do with everybody else. Anyway, I'm off topic at this point. This episode is sponsored by a few people. Spotify. If you go to my website, arithegreat.com, and click on the Spotify link, I think that's the one at the very bottom, you can get a free iPad or iPhone app for Spotify. They have a free version of Spotify. Spotify just lets you pretty much get any song that's ever been recorded ever, and you have it at your fingertips, ready to go. It's kind of like illegal downloads, but then you don't have to do it illegally. I guess the artists still get paid, and they have a pay version. I think it's like $10 a month, which you don't have to get through that site. It's not like you have to sign up for it and then you have to cancel later. You just don't have to bother with it at all. But if you sign up for the free version, it's nothing, and they give me half a buck. So that come back, it adds up. But then if you want the pay version also, then there's no ads, which is like, I'm not paying $10 a month for no ads. But what's even better than that is you can then have all those songs when you're not online. So if you go to a plane, and like I do a lot, and then listen to music and try to hide the earbuds in your ears and pretend like you're sleeping, and then put your hoodie over your head so the stewardesses can't tell you to take it out. What you can do with Spotify is load up a playlist ahead of time. So that's the fucking pay version, but even the free version is sweet. So go in there. If you don't like it, just don't ever use it. But go through my website, arithegreat.com. And also go through my website if you're going to use Amazon. There's a link on there for the top one, for brown ones. They're all to the right, my links. I should put like notes on what they are, like underneath each one. But if you go buy stuff on Amazon, go through the link on my website, the Amazon link, and then they give me like a cut back of your purchases. It doesn't cost you anything extra. It's just Amazon out of their end. They just give me some back because they figure I'm pushing people to use Amazon. My feeling is you should use Amazon anyway. I almost bought. I have T-shirts now, and I have to send them out. So I had to buy like label makers for like the shipping addresses and shit and stuff. There's no reason to curse there, but I was on my way down to Staples and Sunset was packed, and then I realized like, wait, I can just get this on Amazon, and then it was one like 50% cheaper. It was supposed to be $200. I got it for like $150, and no tax, and it's shipping. I didn't have to drive down Sunset. I didn't have to deal with all that. So you save money on the tax. Just Amazon's a great product. Just fucking use Amazon all the times. And when you do, I almost forgot this time, but I remember the last minute. I was like, oh, get yourself a cutback. So I went through my website. There's this big brown banner to the right. Right, that's the American one. Right over the black one, which is the Canadian one for Amazon. And it logs you right into your account, and then you just shop as normal. So it's sweet. So please use that, and that'll help support me in this podcast. That's it, everybody. This is a fun episode. It's not dark at all. Nobody cries. Nobody threatens to cry. I had fun looking for the music. You know what I realized? That I could edit these things in 35 minutes. If I just uploaded it, I would just correct it once with the sound and then put it on the web. But I fucking spent 4 or 5 goddamn hours looking for music, deciding what to do for the intros. Well, I don't spend that much time with the intros. But for the rest, the music and just little things. I don't know. I fuck around. I actually like it. I shouldn't complain. I like it. I enjoy doing it, or I wouldn't do it. So, that's it for stand up. My next storyteller show, This Is Not Happening Presents, is June 26th. I think it's the 26th, whatever Tuesday is, June 25th or 26th. But I think June 26th at the Improv. You can go to my website and get tickets. There's a link right there on the side, on the bottom, with all my dates. Or you can go to my tour link at the top, and it shows all my dates, and you can get tickets for all my shows through that. I'm going to Foxwoods to Connecticut right now, where I'll play tonight through Saturday, and then the next week I'm doing Cobb's in San Francisco, June 13th, and then Sacramento, June 14th through the 17th. So I guess come out to that if you live in NorCal. If you live in Oakland, make it over the bridge. Come see me. Cobb's is a massive fucking place, and it should be awesome. Whatever, I'm not going to go into it, but I used to feature there all the time for Rogan, so it's nice to. I thought that room was too big for me to ever headline. I thought Punchline would be the one that eventually let me get in, but Cobb's did it. So please come out. That's one of those big shows for me. So that's it, everybody. I got tons of other dates coming up. Indianapolis just got added, like in September, along with Cap City in Texas, Montreal, and for the festival, I believe they're talking about it right now. I probably shouldn't say anything. And Toronto also for the another festival in September. Whatever. Anyway, look at my dates. See if I'm in your city. Or just keep listening to this podcast, and I'll tell you when they come. So, Cort McCown, thank you very much. Steve Rannazzisi, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Hollywood Nights with... I shouldn't call it that. Fuck. Why? Okay, this should be the example of what irresponsible should be. If they had a dictionary term for irresponsible, they should have an audio clip of me recording these songs, these intros, without knowing what the title will be, so that I'm just at the end going, please stay tuned for, and then I just have no idea what the fuck name the thing. If I just took 4 minutes ahead of time and thought about it like a fucking regular person, I would know. This is when I realized when I was in high school, I was super irresponsible. I got straight, I think my average was like a 2.1, I think 2.17. I don't think. That's exactly what my grade point average was. 2.17. Pretty much a C average. Junior year, I got straight D's. D minus, D plus. For history, English, math, and science. Barely got by. Had to buckle down hard just to not fail. And one day, I decided that I finally did my homework one day. I did my homework for every class. For Talmud, for the Jewish studies, for the English studies. I did it all, and I was so proud of myself. And then I was going to put all my work in my book bag, all the homework in my book bag ready for the next day. And I said to myself, no, Ari, a responsible person, a responsible student remembers his homework tomorrow, remembers to bring it with him. And so then I went to sleep and I woke up the next day and I forgot my homework. It was probably one of maybe 4 days ever in high school that I did all my homework the night before. I'm not including first day of class. And I forgot it. And then I realized, no, Ari, a responsible student doesn't remember his homework the next day. A responsible kid just fucking puts it in his book bag as soon as he's done doing it. As soon as you're done with the homework, just put it there and get ready. Responsible student fucking wakes up and remembers to pack his book bag. What a moron I was. I always had a planner, too, I did nothing with except plan sicknesses. Anyway, so thank you, Cort McCown. Thank you, Steve Rannazzisi, my co-host. I think he's co-hosted more than anybody now, twice. Stay tuned and enjoy Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank, number 62. Hollywood something. Okay, let's call it LA Story. LA Story with Cort McCown. Is that good? I'll probably keep it that. I might change the title. We'll see. Anyway, enjoy. All right, we're starting.
Great.
Cort just informed us.
No.
Hey, everybody. Cort McCown.
What's up, Ari?
And my co-host, Steve Rannazzisi.
Hello, everyone.
Back from New York.
Yes, in for the day.
Just for an hour off the plane.
Yep.
But we're going to talk to Cort today about about your Hollywood lifestyle when you were little.
When I was little?
How old were you?
Yeah, how old were you when you moved here?
I was 20 years old when I moved here.
What? I think you played like a brother. You were 20 years old?
20 years old.
And immediately started working?
Yeah. Well, I came here from, I was living in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And
That's where you grew up, right?
that's where I grew up. And I was in college. Well, I was enrolled in college.
Yeah.
I didn't really go to college.
In Oklahoma or here?
In Oklahoma, to Oklahoma State in Stillwater.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
but
That's still there, or has it been hurricaned out?
No, that place.
Oklahoma
is
State.
Oklahoma State. Come
Oh,
on,
great.
man. But I came out here. I had a friend that lived out here that came back, and we had a late night and discussed, coming out to California.
Yeah.
And so, what I did was like back then, this was 1984, and America West Airlines used to fly direct flights from like Tulsa, Oklahoma to L.A., and you could get on the plane and write them a check.
What?
Yeah,
What?
you could get on the plane and write a check for your airfare.
Really?
Yeah, so I
Hand it to the stewardess?
and hand it to the stewardess. Yeah,
Like,
Like a cab.
what do you can pay a check to a cab?
Well, I mean, it's like getting the ride, right? Not
Oh, yeah.
prepaying the ride.
So you just get on and then
you just get on and they go.
And what
What
if you're like, I don't have any money?
well, like for me, for example, then you just write a hot check and you just cruise to.
You wrote a fake check to get
wrote a
the
fake check.
Yeah, like why would they take that? Why would that be an acceptable method of payment?
and I partied so hard on that plane. Like, I brought a little package with me.
What's a package? Coke?
Yeah.
Okay, party.
On a plane.
On a plane. Yeah.
Whoa,
No search.
That's so scary.
I think that's when it was like encouraged.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think there was a point where it was
And
like,
it was free drinks on the plane.
Oh,
it
my
was free drinks on the plane.
Oh, wow.
So I got shit faced. I mean, I'm in the bathroom, just insanely hammered for like 3. It was like 3-hour flight or whatever it was.
was your buddy with you too?
No, he picked me up at the
Oh,
airport
okay.
In L.A.
Yeah. Picked me up at LAX. We went back to his house, partied all night, and then he goes, "Now, do you want to do extra work?" And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And he goes, "Well, tomorrow I work."
Is that related to the Coke? 'Cause yes. Extra for me.
I'll do it. But they do. There was this TV show he was working on. It was John Stamos, Jamie Gertz. It was produced by John Peters and all these guys. It was called
Do you remember?
Dreams.
Dreams?
Dreams. It was only on like one. I think it was
Before
on one
Full House?
season. before Full House.
Oh, yeah.
And so and back then I had really long hair, and we got off the plane, we partied anyway. So the next morning, he wakes me up at 5:30. Now I'd probably been asleep maybe 3 hours.
Yeah.
And he goes, we're going to go, man, let's go. And so I dress up. It's a party scene. And we're shooting on Shoup Avenue in Woodland Hills in July.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's 110 fucking degrees out there. Now, I didn't know the protocol of extra work. Extra work, you're basically treated like homeless people.
Yeah.
You're basically homeless people
Cattle.
that aren't allowed to collect change.
Yeah.
You know, you're a homeless person that sits in front of a 7-Eleven without a cup. You know,
The only advancements in extra work has been the name of the name change. Now they're called background people.
Oh, background.
Oh, really?
That's literally the only advancement they've made
back
over the
then
course.
but that was union. It was a union gig. So these
that was
guys were
good.
all union. So there was like the Screen Extras Guild and the Screen Actors Guild.
There's a non-union and union if you're for extra work.
There
it's
used
like
to be
$56 to like $160.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
it was insane. And the only reason I got in the car is he goes, "You're going to make like $150 today."
That's a lot.
And that was like 2 weeks work in fucking Oklahoma. You know, so I was like, "Let's go." So we go there. It's 108. It's 1984. You're in these like awful fucking suits. You know, really pastel, you know, just Miami Vice style.
Yeah.
You know, you look terrible. And then, you know, it takes forever. And this whole thing's being shot inside this gymnasium. We shot it at junior high school. It's where they did Karate Kid. And
Really?
Yeah. And so they were shooting in this junior high school, but we're sitting outside and we have to sit outside. And I'm like, fuck this. Because
You didn't even get to go inside and try sweeping the leg?
No, my buddy was the stand-in, so he got to be inside.
Yeah.
And he used to have those great big. You've seen those great big air conditioners that have the great big hoses, those big yellow hoses.
We just got one on those on the league.
In
Season
on
What does it
3.
do, cool off everybody?
It cools off. It's like a silent air conditioner, so it's not like that. It kind of just the air in, so
But
it
it
keeps it
blows.
cool without really making a lot
but
of noise.
it blows. It's like 55 degrees, and it cools off an entire gym,
like a bar or gym, like big spaces.
So every time I got a chance, man, like I went inside and I like had this director's chair, and I would just sit in this chair. I'm hung as shit. I'm about ready to puke. It's 108 degrees outside. I'm in this stupid ass suit. I have about 3 hours sleep, and I would sit in front of I would just point the thing at me. I looked like something out of that Maxell, like old commercial where I was sitting in the chair, my hair's being blown back.
Yeah.
And I was just loving it. And then the director of photography kept coming up from the back. I looked just like John Stamos because I had really the same linked hair and everything. And he goes, "Do you want a job?" And I'm like, "Is it inside?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "I want you to be John Stamos' stand-in,
Really?
his photo double on the show." And I go, "God, it's so great. I'm going to be here like 8 more days." He goes, "We need somebody for 14 weeks."
Whoa.
And I go,
Of money?
"Yeah." And it's like good money. That's like 200 and something a day. And
Wait,
you
do they
get
not
into-
have stand-ins? Do they have those Hollywood stories anymore?
What do you mean? What's
Like,
the
hey,
question?
you're working. Don't they have jobs already lined up for people?
Yeah, but I mean, I think the Hollywood dream is to be like, we're going to put you in this picture. Now you're going to have a speaking line.
Yeah.
Like stand-in stuff, they were like, oh, you look like that person. This makes my life a lot easier.
Yeah,
I
so
think it
there
is-
you go.
yeah.
Because
okay.
back then they used to shoot for this TV show. They would shoot music videos at the end of every week, and they had like Lou Rawls, Bill Bixby was the director on it all the time, and
Who's Bill Bixby?
the Hulk.
The Hulk. Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
going to
the
guess.
Hulk.
I was like,
Yeah.
see the original.
And so they had all these great guys on there, and so it was great. So I got this job. So I just called my mom back home, and I go, and tell my brother, I go, just tell him to find the car wherever my car is and move it somewhere so it doesn't get tickets. And
'Cause I'm staying.
I'll be back. I'll be back sometime. I don't know when I'll be back. I was on probation. I was in
For what?
at school. I was like,
at school.
It wasn't good. Nothing was good there.
Yeah.
So I came out here and I worked on this show.
How old were you?
20, and I turned 21 when I was here.
Okay.
And then right after that, the second AD, we finished that show in like December. And I went back during hiatus and got all my shit and moved out here.
Was Jamie Gertz the one who did that movie where in the preview, one of the guys was like, or she was like, would you have sex with me if I was all sweaty? And he was like, I'll have sex with you if you were covered in spiders. When they got locked into like a supermarket overnight.
I don't know. She
don't
was
know.
in like
Bank
she was in
robbers.
Less Than Zero.
Oh, yeah.
The long dark hair. She was really hot back then. She was
Yeah.
really young. But it was a great show. I mean, Stamos was such a cool guy. He was
he's
such a
still cool,
nice
right?
guy, you know?
Yep.
And he had so much hot ass that would show up on his head. I would just get the
Still.
leftover
Still,
ass.
you see him come in,
Still.
you're like, you stare at this girl like that's the most unbelievable girl I've ever seen. And then after like 10 minutes, you look to your right and you're like, oh, hey, there's John Stamos next door.
Yep.
But like,
I saw him at the Palms one time with just surrounded, like at the cabana. You couldn't even see him. It was just surrounded by bikinis and
That's so
models.
much
like,
ass.
how does he?
Yeah,
So
well, he's
much
an
ass.
incredibly good-looking person who happens to be
Successful.
very
Witty.
wealthy and can sing. He's on tour with
That's
the Beach
right.
Boys right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was like the
I
lead.
just heard that.
This TV show was like about a bunch of kids that were in a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and so at the end of the thing, they had music videos, and then he was expensive, so he would shoot the stuff where they'd show him, then he would take off,
And you would be the guy
and I
in
would
the
be
music
like
video.
in his outfit, like, and they would. I'd have like a guitar strapped on me, and you'd shoot me from behind, and it was like it was fun, man.
Yeah.
it was fun.
That's cool.
Yeah,
So you get to stay inside mostly.
I got to stay inside. That was all I gave a shit about that
So
day.
you had enough
staying-
money to pay for plenty of shit.
Oh, dude! All of a sudden, I had like I was
200 a day?
Yeah, I was
Oh.
making like, and then you had overtime and all that other stuff, and so now I was
yeah.
making like, all of a sudden I was making like $1,500 a week. It was ridiculous.
Christ.
In 1984, let's
How much
remember
did you make a
everyone.
punked?
About
$700
$700 per punked, whatever the one we did was, and I did like 10 of them. So
You have to do 3 for 1 punked.
no, one punked was like one scenario.
Okay,
like it was
okay.
like a day. They bought you for the day.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
but I mean, like, yeah, it wasn't 3 weeks worth of work.
Yeah,
Would've been
so it was
great.
good. It was good.
So
14.
then, so you
All
get
right.
out of the job.
I get out of that job, and then it's like, and then it was weird because like I was treated so well.
Had you fucked anyone at this point in Los Angeles?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Okay.
Oh,
you
yeah.
already all right.
oh it was good.
Yeah. Had you already entered into like the Hollywood parties and stuff?
No. It was back in '84. There was not that many. I mean, I wasn't in
There weren't
the
many
cool
girls.
scene. I
Yeah.
lived right up the street from the Laugh Factory.
North of it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I lived on Hollywood. I lived on Laurel, right below Hollywood Boulevard, and then. But I was like, but back then, like the Red Onion was a cool place to go, and TGI Fridays. They were like, oh, they were great, man. You go on like a Friday night, and there would be like, oh, it was just clean up,
Yeah.
just clean
Really?
up. Oh,
At Fridays?
oh yeah.
Where was the TGI Fridays?
There was a TGI Fridays on Cahuenga. Or Red Onion.
And people
or something.
really went there on Fridays.
Oh
to just
yeah, it
go.
was packed. It was packed.
Was that when it was new? Was it like a hot place for a
Yeah,
while?
I mean,
I don't know. I mean,
we
it,
used to go on like Saturday nights after basketball games, but it was like lame.
oh yeah, but it wasn't lame at all. It was like everybody kind of hung out because there weren't all the nightclubs. I mean, Sunset was Sunset was a ghost town.
Really?
Sunset Boulevard was a ghost town.
Oh, I wish it was like
I
that.
mean,
Really?
there was nothing up there. I mean, you had Gazzari's and you had
What
you know
was
the
Gazzar's? I
Rainbow.
heard that in a Betty Blowtorch song. What was that?
That was next. That's the Key Club.
Oh,
That was-
okay.
yeah, so
Okay.
that was like Gazzari's and Rainbow. And then
so the
you-
Rainbow was there.
Rainbow was there.
Was the
Gazzar's
Roxy there?
Roxy was there. There was a place above it called On the Rocks, and that was like
That's still there.
that was where Belushi was hanging out, you know, or used to hang out, and yeah, that place was kind of cool. The where's now Pink Taco, which was Roxbury. Before that, it was this place called Imperial Palace, and it was a Chinese restaurant. And upstairs, there was this guy that ended up killing himself later on. This guy David Crass. He used to run a thing,
cool.
yeah, that was called the Boss Club, and they played Springsteen music all night long up there. That
Oh,
guy,
really?
yeah, that guy killed himself. It was a sad story. That guy was
Why? Because I got sick of Springsteen.
no, he was just. It was just.
There's only 10 hits.
I remember.
How many times can you listen to Thunder Road?
I was with him one night.
He's even cocking the gun. Thunder. Oh, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, I met. I think it was like 1988, 1987 or 88. He killed himself. I remember I was with him one night. It was me, him, Robert Downey Jr.
What?
and this other guy.
Where'd you meet Downey Jr.?
Yeah, when did you start meeting, like, now I know Robert Downey Jr., or now I know?
It was when after Can't Buy Me Love. After Can't Buy Me Love. That
How'd you get into Can't Buy Me Love? Would you get an agent?
Yeah, what happened was after I did Dreams, then I did
What's
Teen
Dream-
Wolf.
Dreams was the-
Dreams was
What'd
the
you do
TV
in Teen
show.
Wolf?
I played
was,
the
the
basketball
basketball player.
in Teen Wolf.
Really?
Carried Michael J. Fox off the...
Yeah. So right after
end?
Yeah.
after I did Dreams, I did Teen Wolf.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
did Teen
I
Wolf.
just watched Teen Wolf again.
Yeah,
He looks exactly the same, by the way. Just look for the guy who looks exactly like Cort.
But then after I did Teen Wolf, the guy that was the director of photography on Teen Wolf did this show called George Burns Comedy Week. And it was at Universal Studios. Yeah. And he goes, "Do you want to be a stand-in? It's a union gig. It was great money, And so, but every week was a different director with different stars. It was like Elliot Gould, Telly Savalas.
What were you doing?
I was a stand-in, so I'd stand in for whoever was there that week.
Okay.
And
what did they do? They did sketch stuff?
No. It was a half-hour TV show, half-hour written show.
Oh, okay.
So it was like Carl Gottlieb, who wrote Jaws and was like one of the writers on MASH and all this stuff.
One of mine.
He was executive producer, and Steve Martin was executive producer, and they did this thing. Steve Martin directed his first show on that. He was in it. It was cool. So every week was somebody different, and I got to meet the coolest people. Yeah. Don Knotts, Don Rickles.
Really?
All those guys.
Knotts came into the Comedy Store once, and we all like craned at the back door of the main room to look at him.
Oh, he was cool.
Yeah, it was like he was sitting next to the stage on the other side, on the public side, and we were just all like staring.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a cool dude.
Everybody loves Mr. Furley.
Yeah. Huh? Who couldn't?
Yeah.
That and what's his name? When Ahmed's friend came.
Vince Vaughn?
The kid from
Peter Billingsley. I did a movie
Peter
with him.
Billingsley, yeah.
What movie did you do with him?
Beverly Hills Brats.
With a Z?
No, that was with Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen, Peter Billingsley.
Really?
Who else was in that? The guy that played it was in Rocky that played Stallone's Paulie. What's it?
Burt Young.
Burt Young was in it. They kidnapped the kid. Yeah.
Really?
All I remember when Billingsley was there is that I think Brett Ernst said, like, "Hey, the guy from Toy Story is in the bathroom right now." In the hallway bathroom?
Not Toy Story. Christmas Story.
And like 8 of us just built around waiting for him to get out. And then he gets out and he sees 8 dudes in like early 30s staring at him. And then as soon as he sees us, we all looked away.
Yeah.
And then bolted.
He did an after-school special with Vince. That's where they met.
Really?
Like one of those cheesy after-school steroid.
Is that where all the connections got made? Shitty stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it all happened.
That's like, what Rudy's where Vaughn met.
It was like 94.
Yeah.
Where he met Favreau.
On the set of Rudy?
On the Rudy.
Billingsley?
No.
Vince Vaughn.
Yeah. And Vince Vaughn was supposed to be like a huge part of that movie, and he got cut out of a lot of it.
Really?
Yeah. And
I wonder if they make a decision to be like, cut all that guy's scenes. We got to save time.
Well, I think once they start to cut stuff, they go, okay, this is not an extra character, but this is like a storyline that we cannot really, focus on.
Okay, so you did. Okay.
So anyway, when I was doing George Burns Comedy Week, I got my SAG card. So they came and the guy that was directing the show was a guy named Phil Alden Robinson, who did Field of Dreams, who did what else did he do? He did what's that one? It was a really good movie with Ben Affleck and Morgan Freeman, Sum of All Fears.
Yeah.
And he did
Tom Clancy book,
yeah,
right?
and then he did the other one with Robert Redford and Sidney Poitier and
I don't know that one.
And River Phoenix and such a good movie.
Who is in it?
River Phoenix, Sidney Poitier, Robert Redford. I'll think of it in a minute, but it doesn't matter. So anyway, but Phil was really cool, and when I went in to audition for Can't Buy Me Love, which back then was Boy Rents Girl. That was the name of the original title.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy Rents Girl?
Boy Rents Girl.
No way you can have that.
No.
And when I went
What
in
if it was an interracial thing? Then there's definitely no way.
I don't know. Yeah, that would be weird. But they ended up, the guy that was directing it was this guy named Steve Rash, who did the Buddy Holly story.
Okay.
And he knew Phil Robinson, so he actually called Phil, and Phil goes, "You got to hire the kid. He said, works hard."
You?
Yeah. He goes, "The kid works really hard. He'll do, he'll show up."
Was this your first big audition?
First big gig.
Okay.
Like it wasn't like I wasn't going in for the lead. I was going in for a smaller part.
Yeah, but in a movie, it's an acting.
No, this was a small movie. It was
really?
a small, low-budget movie.
Can't Buy Me Love was a small movie?
Tiny movie.
Wow, it just caught on?
It just blew up.
Was that movie good? I remember it being good, but
It might have been like it was probably like their version of, remember the American Pie, where it's like it probably cost not a lot, that much money to make, but then it just
Kids
turns
loved
into a
it, so they all
huge
watched it.
Well,
thing.
when they originally did the movie, it was Boy Rents Girl, and then back then, God, I feel like it's like the dark ages. But back then, big studios, like didn't buy small movies. Big studios made big movies. Little guys made little movies, and they got released however they got fucking released.
Right.
And then all of a sudden we did this movie. One of the guys, this guy Mark Berg, who did all the Saw movies and all this stuff, was one of the producers on it.
Yeah. You're naming a lot of Jewish names.
Yeah.
That's all that runs this place.
Yeah, buddy. What are you talking Hollywood? And we'll get to the gays later.
That's 1993.
Yeah. So he ends up showing it to this guy named Chris Zarpis, who was at Disney. It was at Touchstone.
Yeah.
So Touchstone saw the movie, they loved it, and they bought it.
Oh, really?
So it was the first movie that Disney ever bought that they didn't make. So that they bought this movie, they pumped. We made it for like $4 million. They pumped like $7 million into it.
Advertising?
No, we went and did reshoots. They did some other stuff, and then they bought the Beatles song, "Can't Buy Me Love." They made the title. They did the whole thing, and then they released it in like 1,500 theaters, which was like huge.
Yeah, now that's a lot.
Yeah, and we like killed it. We were like the number one movie of the summer for like 5 weeks or 6, whatever it was. It was awesome, dude.
How old are you at this point now? You're at
23. Wow.
And
24.
Was Teen Wolf your first audition?
No.
You auditioned a few times.
No, I auditioned for a few things.
And not got anything.
But not that much, though. But I'd auditioned for a few things, but, gotten close, but nothing like...
And Teen Wolf popped. You got something.
Teen Wolf came out later because...
Oh, after you got...
No, Teen Wolf came out around the same time. No, a little before Can't Buy Me Love, but not that much because... when they made the movie, they found out Michael J. Fox got Back to the Future, so they held the movie until after Back to the Future came out.
So they could push it more?
So they could release it, yeah.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah. Smart motherfuckers.
Yeah.
They still do
that. Because I probably
stuff.
only saw it because of Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
Did you see Teen Wolf 2?
No.
Just the same movie, just different sport.
Is he in it too?
No, it's the guy from Arrested Development, I think.
Oh, Jason Bateman. Jason Bateman, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just the same shit.
Yeah.
It's a different movie. They did it for that, and they did it for what's the movie with Hollywood? Where they get the
they did a remake of Can't Buy Me Love.
Just recently, right?
Oh yeah. With it was the black version, right?
Malik Alon. Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon.
Yeah, Nick Cannon.
They did the black version.
Well, yeah, it was like all black guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the black version, right?
Yeah, that's how you call them.
And now it's called Boy Rents Girl. Was that the title when Girl Rents Boy? Whatever.
Two black people fell in love and no white people cared.
Yeah.
Okay. So was Jamie Gertz in Can't Buy Me Love? Was that her?
No.
Who was the girl?
Amanda Peterson was in that, the blonde. She was like 16 at the time.
Just for my own, you said before the DP had vouched for you that you were a hard worker. I know you as a hard worker, but were you then? I mean, 23-year-old, fresh. I mean, were you on time?
Here's the thing.
Were you coked up?
No. Not working. Back then, it was like the reason I did stand-in work. I was so like everybody went to acting class, and I went to acting classes and all this stuff. But it was all about how this and this and this. But nobody talked about like I'd been on the set for 14 weeks on one show, 8 weeks on another show, 22 weeks on this TV series. George Burns. And the thing that people forgot to talk about was like you only do like 6 lines and you stop, and it's like you wait around all frickin' day long. It's not like that. It's not like doing a play. It's like you go there, you got to hit your mark. Mm-hmm. You got to be able to do it a certain way. You can't, how to stand up out of a chair and sit down in a chair. There's all these things
that stand-in work
that you learn.
Okay.
You learn all these stuff because basically when you're a stand-in, you don't just stand there. You walk the scene. You do the whole scene you block everything.
Do you guys have stand-ins?
No, not for the league. No.
But you learned all this stuff. So that when it came time to like do a show, I knew how to get my ass where I wasn't going to be on the cutting room floor.
Right.
I could walk it and block it so that we can't cut him. You can't do the scene.
That's all I remember. I got cut out of a commercial once, and then me and Patty Lee, Bobby Lee's ex-girlfriend, he said he dated a Korean girl. He thought he was interracially dating, but it was from Shaq's point of view. So they just mounted a camera on top of somebody's head, and, like looked around a fake Burger King, and all we did we were in the aisle, like in the window seat, and we just scooted all the way over to the aisle so we get in the shot. Every time Shaq's head would come around, we would just like lean all the way into it. 100%. And we'd run around and watch the playback and see if we could just get an ear inside.
Yep.
We get half our face and ear, we were good.
That's it.
And I got paid in that motherfucker.
You bet, man, because that's what it's all about. Yeah, fuck yeah. They don't teach you that.
They don't teach you that.
They don't teach you to stick
Fuck character.
Fuck your character. Get your face in there.
on
Oops, I dropped a fry again.
Yeah. If there's a 2-shot, make sure you're the fucking guy that's leaning in.
I told everybody, stadium scenes for stuff or crowd scenes, don't. Everybody's gonna be like, oh, I don't care where you sit. Just sit in the middle.
Yeah. Oh, sit as close. Don't sit next to the guy that's the main guy in the commercial. Sit behind him.
Yeah.
Behind him. That's what you'll always be seeing.
Crouched down.
Yeah.
I saw Joey Diaz once in an episode of How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
But he was like behind them. They were all at a baseball game.
Yeah.
And he was just sitting behind them.
Yeah.
With no lines, just sitting there. And I called him after I saw that. I'm like, Diaz, did you get cut out of a How I Met Your Mother? And he goes, yeah.
Oh, really?
There's no other reason why you're in there.
Yeah.
And just not speaking at all.
They fuck you, man. They fuck you. They do whatever they can.
Okay. So you knew all this stuff.
So I did Can't Buy Me Love. And then it was right shortly after that, the writer strike hit.
The first one
that just.
So this is like late 80s now?
This is 1987, 88. And it shut the fucking town down. It was done.
Yeah,
it was done. Every bit of momentum I had was over.
No.
It was done.
Yeah.
It was like just when you I remember after Can't Buy Me Love, I was reading for.
How long were you shooting Can't Buy Me Love? Like, how long were you
we did that like 6 weeks.
6 weeks on the movie set.
6 weeks, and then we got back and we went back.
You were like 7th, 8th lead, right?
Co-star, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Quinton.
It's the two of them.
Well,
there's the boy and the girl.
There's the boy and the girl, and then there's there's like 3 guys that are
his nerd friends.
3 guys are his nerd friends, and 3 chicks that were her friends. Yeah. Well, we weren't his friends. We were the guys that.
Yeah, he was like the asshole that spilled the red wine. Remember at the end of that?
They spilled red wine on him?
He spills the red wine on.
Ari, go watch the fucking.
Come on, Ari. What's wrong with you?
The one part
do your research.
Smoke some weed. Smoke some weed and watch it.
The one part I remember is the girl's friend, the other hot, popular girl, taking out one boob.
Oh yeah.
And going, "This is the second most beautiful boob in all of this town," or whatever she said.
Oh,
he's like, "What's the other one?"
Just because I'm keeping score, did you have sex with anyone on set of Can't Buy Me Love?
Yes.
You don't have to say names. Just say yes or no.
Let's hold off on the names, and we'll talk about that later. But first,
not during the movie, not during the filming.
Did you hook up with the girl that said this is the most beautiful boob in the town?
After.
Oh my God!
After.
You hooked up with her?
And
I masturbated to that so many times.
Really?
Dude, you don't catch boob. Where are you going to catch boob? In 85, 87.
Amazing tits, too. Amazing tits.
They were.
Her ass was better.
What?
Her ass was better.
So you stayed in touch with her and you did it later?
I still talk to her all the time.
What is she now? 40-something?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you think? They cryogenically froze her so that she wouldn't get older?
I thought about it until then.
Oh, no.
They don't cryogenically.
Oh, no, she's 40.
So you did it with her? She was so hot.
Yeah, she was very, very hot.
Oh, my God. Okay. Can I just touch her dick?
Yes, you can.
No.
What?
Can I leave? What's going to happen?
Uncomfortable.
Who else did you hook up with? The lead?
Yeah.
Whoa!
Oh, wow. Now, can I ask a question? Does this groundwork happen on set, and then it's after hours stuff that this kind of stuff occurs, or is it like
on set? On set, I was trying really, really hard to hook up with Amy Dolenz.
Which one's Amy Dolenz?
Mickey Dolenz. She had a very small part, but she was really. Oh, she had the biggest tits. She was so awesome. The one girl was there was the other girl that had the really curly hair.
That wasn't the girl with the boob?
No. There was another girl that had really curly hair that had the most amazing body, but she was 16. And she showed up in my hotel room one night.
What?
And I was like, and her parents were, I was like, you got to get the fuck out of here. I was 22 or 23, and I was like, I knew statutory rape, and I was not getting anywhere fucking near that. And also, my girlfriend at the time, I was living with this girl in Malibu. My girlfriend.
One is not enough.
My girlfriend came out. And because this was we used to fight. This is like one of those relationships when you're 23 and it's like, fuck you, and you're cheating, and it's like, well, I wasn't, but I was trying.
Yeah,
I'm
actively pursuing that option.
Actively pursuing it. And but she came out. She came out and spent a few days out there, and it was like, ugh, So it was like she cock blocked everything that was going on.
So okay, who was the other? There was the main girl and the 2 popular friends.
Yeah, so the one popular friend was the one that came and showed up in my hotel room. Yeah. And then I had to kick out because she was 16. And the other one, yes.
Wow, the lead.
It's going to shock you when you go back and watch the movie now. Not only because I'm sure you will still masturbate to the tit girl.
What's that girl's name? The one with this boob is the greatest boob.
Darcy.
That's her real name.
Yeah.
That's her name in the. Wow.
Yeah, that's her name.
I happen to know that in the whole school, there's only one other titty quite this pretty.
Yep.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to go back and watch it again. I'm going to masturbate to it again.
I guarantee you will. And this time maybe you'll recognize Cort.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Just imagine me pommeling that. You know?
Oh my God. Did you look up
Crushing.
Teen Wolf?
Yes.
Which one? Okay, let me guess. What would hurt me the most? What would hurt you the most of who he had sex with?
Michael J. Fox.
Okay.
Wait.
That's out of the box. Did not consider that at all. I hope he did not have sex with the nice girl that he ended up liking at the end.
No, I did the bad blonde haired girl.
Yeah, that he wanted?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
She was the best.
During the shoot?
No, after that,
God.
I met her. I was just thinking about this the other day. Her name was Lori.
Yeah.
That's her name. I remember I ran into her somewhere, and I don't remember why, but we just started hanging out. And then I don't remember why we didn't
as
anymore.
friends and stuff?
No, we
No.
just started hooking up, and I was like, and I don't remember why. But the weirdest part is I don't remember why we quit, because that was awesome. She was awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, these are some of the hottest women from my childhood.
There's some good ones.
I mean, these are the standouts.
Yeah, it would be like, for me, it would be like Danica McKellar. Like he had sex with Danica McKellar.
Which one's what's she from?
Winnie
Wonder
Cooper.
Years? Winnie
Yeah.
Cooper, yeah.
No, never did.
Oh, did you know her?
No.
One time I was at an audition, she walked in and she sat down, signed in, and I got like chills.
Did you try to accidentally sit right next to her so you
I
could touch legs?
didn't even make eye contact with her.
It's so weird. You can see those people now.
I know.
And you're just like, oh my God.
I can't. I mean, I like the move of not doing it while you're working and waiting till after it's over.
Yeah,
It wasn't
That
a
way,
matter of
no
me
way.
waiting. It was just that it didn't work out. You
You were putting it out there.
it's probably the
I was
best
always
case
putting it
scenario,
out
though.
there.
Did you have her accent at this point from Oklahoma?
No.
Okay.
No.
You were just a stunning 23-year-old, 24-year-old.
No, I was just a kid.
Liked to
I was just
party.
a kid who liked it, you know.
Yeah.
And after that, like I ended up befriending this guy that was a production assistant, came from like this really wealthy Beverly Hills family and was just in the scene, was in the nightclub scene. And that was like 1988, and it was going off. It was like downtown was where everything was happening.
Tons of coke.
Oh,
Downtown LA.
downtown LA.
Now, is this because the writer strike's going on, people don't know what to do, so everyone's just partying it up? Is that how it is?
No.
Was it a?
No, I mean even when the strike was like when the writer's strike happened, I had this agent. I ended up going to Italy for a while.
Uh-huh.
So I went and did a movie in Italy. You know, so I did one movie. Actually, I did one movie here for them. Then I did one movie there for them, and then I came back. Then they came back and did two more here for them. No, you'd never know.
movies?
Yeah,
Okay.
you'd never. They're Italian movies, Italian-produced movies in English that are basically rip-offs of American movies.
Really?
Yeah, like one was like Jaws. You know,
Yeah.
like a Jaws rip-off. You know,
Oh, wow. That's easy money.
yeah, it was. Oh, and cash, dude. I remember
What better way
And like this
to
way-
fuel a drug habit?
I was in-
paying
I was-
people in
I did a
cash.
movie-
Even cash. What the fuck?
I did a movie in Venice, Italy, with my girlfriend at the time, who was this girl Josie Bissett, who ended up being on Melrose.
Oh,
Place
wait a
after
minute.
that.
From
Josie, but she was the
yes,
cute one with the
the
short
blonde.
hair.
Yes, yes.
You hooked up with her too?
I masturbated to her.
That
Oh
was
my
That
God.
was my girlfriend.
Charles in
Almost
Charge.
like 2
Wasn't she in
years.
Charles in Charge?
No,
She was in Charles in Charge?
no,
You
No.
hooked up with someone from Charles in Charge?
no,
You might have. I think she might have been in Charles
no.
in Charge.
She wasn't. She was on a show called The Hogan Family.
That's where I know her
Yeah.
from.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It was that Valerie's family, and then Valerie left, so like, fuck it. We're going to
Yep.
keep going with this.
Yeah.
That
Bateman was on that show, too.
Who?
Bateman.
Really?
Was Hogan's family?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're right.
That was the first time they're like, we're making an example of you for all the stars right now. We can continue a sitcom without the star.
Yep.
Yeah. But we were over in Italy, and I remember we left, we were in Venice, we shot in Venice, and as we were coming back, you had to go into Venice airport, and you had to go from the international airport to the domestic airport to fly back, to fly to Rome, to fly back, you know, so you had to go on the domestic, you know, whatever it was. And I remember the guy met us at the thing with a briefcase full of cash.
What?
And
At the
it was
airport?
at the airport.
When you were leaving?
When we were leaving, because we got paid.
Yeah.
And it was cash. And I remember I was like, "Oh shit! What do I know you don't want to report this cash."
Yeah.
So I
Did you
took the
check it?
cash.
No,
I taped it to my leg. $10,000 cash. I taped it to my leg. I had on cowboy boots. Taped it to my fucking leg. Put my boots on, and got on the fucking plane.
Wow.
$10,000.
You had to smuggle it in?
Well, yeah.
Oh, I guess you would have to pay like...
Yeah,
You'd have to pay tax on it.
$4,000. Just by bringing it in.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was good.
That must have been. Did you pay for your flight on that one, or did you
they paid
write
for
a check?
They paid for everything.
Who did that with Dice?
Oh, a lot of people.
Was that you?
One time I was with Dice where they asked him, they gave him money for in cash at a casino in Vegas, and he put it in his fanny pack and hands it to me at the airport and says he's going to take a piss and don't. And it was like $35K in cash. So I'm standing there.
That was as much as you'd ever
He's dressed like a toddler.
I would have taken a flight to Brownsville, Texas, and you never would have seen me again.
Eddie Griffin came into the Comedy Store one time, straight from Vegas in a limo, and had handed me a bag and said, just hold on to this till I get off stage. And then it opened it up at the end. He opened it up at the end. I just held it, and it was like $30K in cash, and he handed me $5.
Really?
For watching the bag.
He's so cheap, Eddie Griffin.
Yeah.
He had the best line I've ever heard, though, on the way back from Vegas. I saw him at the airport picking up his bags, me and Rogan. I was like, how was it? He goes, man, I met this girl. I was like, bitch, if you got AIDS, we got AIDS.
That's good. That's good.
We used to want to take his car because he just made us so angry by doing 2 hours on stage. We used to want to take his car.
That Nissan NSX or whatever he had?
NSX.
Yeah.
We were going to take it through the red light on La Cienega and Sunset over and over and over
Just
and
to
over.
get
and
him
over
tickets
again.
and tickets.
Wait till it turns red.
Were you going to do it in
and see
blackface?
I should have done it in blackface. We never did
Sorry,
it, though.
that was easy.
So they gave you this cash and you taped your leg and brought
Yeah,
it back.
so anyway, but that's what, yeah.
Just straight cash.
Straight cash.
And now you're partying.
Oh,
Now, is it like every night?
Just Coke just
Give me like an
rolling.
example of like what a night is like then.
Downey Jr., who I heard got into stuff.
All right, I'll tell you one night.
Did he have a drug problem?
One night we go down to, there was this, we go down to this place called Flaming Colossus. There was this club on like 8th and Bonnie Brea, and it was the greatest nightclub, man. And it was like so hard to get, but you go in, you'd have a great time, and then everyone would be walking and be like, where are we going? Where are we going? And so I remember I was with David Crass, this guy Peter Morgan, and Downey, and we're like, let's go back to Crass's house. Somebody's got some blow. And we ended up back there. It's like 4 a.m. And I remember it was like 6:30 in the morning. We just were drinking warm scotch and just snorting this huge pile of Coke. And I'm like, I got to quit doing this, And it was because you're like, it's getting ugly. Would
you snort it in the pile, or would you take some off and make a line?
just a little, just dip it in and just.
Oh, okay, a little spoon.
Yeah.
Was Coke at that point as easy to get as, let's say, like weed is now?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like
Coke's always been easy to get. I mean, I don't know about now. I haven't
you
done.
stop by
Yeah.
a store, you pull over on any corner, and you're within walking distance of a weed store.
yeah, but I mean, the way it sounds like there, you
everywhere.
go to a
Coke
club
back then,
and it's like
Coke back then. Like I remember, there used to be this club called Elaine's.
Yeah.
Way back. This was like 89, and Jersey just scored.
Yeah. 1-1.
So we ended up. There's this club called Elaine's. This lady named Elaine owned it, and it was her and Jack Nicholson that owned this club, and it was downtown off Beverly. And it was like you'd go in the bathroom, and it was like Rob Lowe, Rod Stewart, just people just
Really?
gacking, and it was just this. It was nobody looked twice.
So when River Phoenix died of an overdose, that was just like what?
That was much later. That was much later than that. That was in the 90s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
yeah, we're still in ¡88, bro. Oral Hershiser is still pitching for the Dodgers.
You're gonna have to do 3 podcasts to get to my real drug problem.
Okay.
Right now we're still having fun.
Yeah, this is still the upslope.
Right now we haven't had our first heart attack yet.
Drugs. Attack from drugs?
I had 3.
Whoa.
2 mild ones, one that got a little bit more serious.
There's no mild heart attacks.
Yeah.
Two mild heart attacks.
2 mild major.
Stopped your heart.
One time definitely 2 times there was some damage.
You felt it in your arms and stuff?
One time I completely lost all the feeling on the whole side of my body.
What do they say? Really?
Completely.
Well, was the party scene like a 7-day-a-week thing? Was it like you could every night there was a different place that
there was always
off?
someplace going.
Yeah.
Always
and
something
then where
going
you
on.
were, some more breakouts and powder.
There was always something like the Hard Rock Cafe on Beverly was like the Brat Pack. The Brat Pack, that was, Estevez and Rob Lowe and, all those guys.
Because that's still new then. In 88, the Hard Rock
that
is
was like a new...
Yeah. it was a big thing.
New
Remember when it
thing.
opened?
they have like live music, like in there. Like,
Would those people get left alone while they were there, or would they get mobbed, or was it just like...
It was just everybody everybody kind of hung out,
Okay.
It wasn't like... it's not like now where there was no paparazzi. There was one entertainment. There was Entertainment Tonight. That was it. There was no TMZ. There was no...
Were they out at night, like looking around for stuff like that?
Still, even back then, there was just puff pieces.
Yeah, they were just... Yeah. No, there was
like,
nothing.
Let's celebrate you.
Yeah. It wasn't like now where, I remember there was a time when there was the Star magazine or something.
Yeah.
Like I was dating this I was dating this soap actress, and they would and every now and then you'd get
Who?
This girl Laura Lee Bell. She was on Young and Restless back then. And every now and then you'd get something from Star magazine that would that would come and say some bullshit about you. But it was never, you didn't really care.
Okay.
But now it's all bullshit. You can't go a day without seeing something about some douche from the Jersey Shore
doing anything.
Yeah, it's who gives a fuck,
Yeah, it's too much now, right?
It's way too much now.
It's it's not, nobody's a full celebrity anymore. Everyone's a B celebrity.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Yeah.
And when something big does happen, look at the story today where some naked guy's eating a guy's face.
Because of bath salts, right?
Yeah, but
bath salts. That's what.
Is that what happened? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. That's
some guy snorted bath salts. I guess it makes you become.
I heard it was cocaine psychosis.
Yeah, it's
it's something.
Yeah.
He growled at the cops and stuff. Yeah.
Why do they shoot that guy?
I don't know if you're allowed to just shoot someone.
Why would you shoot that guy?
Yeah.
What would you do? Calmly pet him until he calmed down?
Wait. Did you ask why would they shoot him or why didn't they shoot him?
Why did they, instead of just hitting him and pushing him off the guy?
Because he wouldn't quit eating the guy's face.
Instead of just asking to stop, why don't you just shove the guy and arrest him? If I'm stealing diamonds and you'd be like, stop stealing those diamonds, I'm like, no, I'm just going to keep stealing these. I expect you not to shoot me.
Well, there's a difference between stealing diamonds and eating someone's face. One inflicts a lot of harm.
But when he looked up with face in his mouth, tackle him.
Dude, you don't want to eat.
No. Then
you shoot the guy who's eating someone else's face.
I disagree. I'm the only one who feels.
What if you're going to knock him off and you trip? Now your face is just looking.
Now
right
he's eating your face.
Yeah. Now he's.
What if he's beating somebody up? Just like what?
Well, I don't. I think that's very different than looking up a piece of flesh in your
very, very different.
Yeah. Very different.
I can see the cop going.
I'm sorry.
You know what? No,
I'm gonna
fuck
go.
This.
I'm gonna go. Rule 1: if someone's eating a guy's face and he looks up at you and growls with a piece of cheek in his mouth, you shoot him.
Yeah,
just shoot
I
him.
completely agree with that. You got to kill that guy.
What the story was? Kill him later. I want to hear his tale.
I think the tale is
just hit him with the knife.
He doesn't know. He didn't know what was going on. Did they kill him? Is he dead?
Oh yeah, they shot him. Then he got up and they shot him again.
Maybe you shoot him in the leg and you try not to kill him. Maybe that stops him.
Yeah.
You're right there. It's not like you're running at him and he's like, "I'm going to take a bite of his face." You're like, "No."
Did you ever have any run-ins with the law with all this stuff going on?
Good question.
Not really. I never really had. The only time that I got really close to being taken to jail was after a Fleetwood Mac concert at the Hollywood Bowl, and I got pulled over. I was really fucked up.
Yeah.
And they let me go for some reason.
Did they recognize you? Was that ever a thing?
No.
You were like,
no.
oh, okay, kind of.
No, nothing like that.
I heard a cop say this. I didn't hear him, but I heard somebody say he said it. He was like, I'm a good cop. Like when I get caught people like drunk driving, I let them go. And you want to be like, no, that's not a good cop.
That's the opposite.
You should stop them from driving drunk.
Yeah, no. It was I was a lucky one.
So you were just doing blow every night, just weakening your heart.
Not every night, but I'd go on those but if I did it, I'd go out and I do an 8 ball. I do an 8 ball.
An 8 ball is an eighth?
3.5 grams. Yeah.
Okay, that's an eighth.
And then drink too as well on top of that. That was just like hydration.
Yeah, and a couple Vicodin, a couple of Ambien or something, just to take the edge off.
Just enjoying life.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. if you ever do like a lot of blow, it makes your heart race a lot. And so if you take an Ambient or like a couple of Vicodin, don't do this at home, kids. It actually takes the edge off a little bit. So you're not kind of
really.
It's not a paranoia feeling. You get kind of
it calms you.
Kind of calms you a little bit.
That's smart. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and endorse that.
Yeah, go ahead,
kids. If you're already going to do coke,
and I recommend Ambient over Vicodin.
Really?
Because Ambient gets a little itchy, but Vicodin gets a little itchy because of the codeine. But but Ambient's pretty mellow.
Okay, so all right. So then this Strike
hits. It's shit. It's shit from there on out.
You're in Italy. You're back.
The career is done.
It's finished at that point.
It's done.
Like that's the last time.
It's it.
Shit, that happens to everybody. That's a lot of people, right?
It happens, man.
What's your last?
It's like all of a sudden you're working all the time, and it's like, and then Strike hits nothing, and it's like it just dries up, and then
vacations.
And also, it's weird, too, is like, the trends change. Like, then it became like all the 30-something shows and, all the older stuff. So I'm like in between. I'm like 25, 26, and it's now kind of older or really young. So you're there weren't a lot of the 20-something shows around then.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So you got caught in the middle.
And you had nothing for you.
Yeah.
Man.
So I just partied a lot.
What was it like hanging out in those parties? Were you overcome by like, oh, those are superstars here?
Yeah. Did you ever get starstruck, or did you just know how to fit in? It seemed like you're the kind of person that wouldn't ask the wrong question. You would just kind of go with it.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, no, there was like, I remember you'd go to parties, and it's like, and there usually what would happen is you'd go to a club. You'd be at a club, and then someone would have a party at their house after.
Okay.
And there'd be like 3 or 4 people you knew that would always have these parties. And like, and this one girl used to have this party. It was right up by the Comedy Store, right up Kings Road, up the thing.
Yeah.
And it was like, it would be like everyone, Sean Penn, fucking Nicholson, all these guys would all hang out.
See, that's the thing, though. If you're with Nicholson, right, and you become in a situation, I don't know, if I would found myself in a situation where I was comfortable enough, I think I would ask him about like Cuckoo's Nest or
ask him about what?
Ask him about like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest or The Shining or something. Like just like
what would you ask him?
I don't know.
Let's just say let's just picture this. It's 4 a.m. They're passing around a butter dish with blow, and it's like you're not really bringing up Cuckoo's Nest and his acting capabilities. You're trying to figure out which girl over here is going to blow.
Nicholson, easy. There's only a little bit left. Easy.
But he wasn't around. That guy wasn't. That guy was rarely around. But it was usually the odd offs. The other guys. The younger guys that were there. So
and did you have a crew at that point? Like, were you like regularly hanging out with certain people?
Well, I had my best friend was Corbett. That was
Which one's that from the Alaska
Wings.
show?
Yeah.
Wings?
No, he was
What's
on
the Alaska show? Northern Exposure.
Oh, Northern Exposure. Yeah.
And then he was on what's it called after that? Sex and the City.
Sex and the City.
I just remember him talking about Propecia. And he was like, it's preventative. She found it.
But that was like my best friend for like 15 years. We ran around together.
What happened to you guys?
I don't know.
Just drifted?
Just drifted.
That happens.
We talk every now and then. I see him once every few years.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, but we just don't,
I have friends like that too, right? Where you're just like...
It's just whatever.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, it just didn't, He went one way, I went the other way. And, and this when I started doing stand-up and,
When? Okay.
That's when I cleaned my shit up.
After what? What made you do that?
What, huh?
What made you do that?
Do a stand-up?
No.
Clean my shit up?
Yeah.
Oh, it was just like... I remember I was here one night. And we're in my apartment, and I never used to let girls...
You lived here for this long? Okay.
Yeah. And so I never used to let girls go in the bedroom. So if we have people come over, we come after a club, because just one whore's in. You might have that door shut. You just couldn't have whores back there. No whores in the back.
Even when it was just you and them?
Yeah.
You'd fuck up here?
Yeah. I used to have a futon.
Did you fuck the girl from I Can't Buy Me Love on this couch?
No. But I've slept on that couch.
Oh, yeah. You have many times. But I used to have a futon that was rolled up in that closet right there. That was, ugh.
Just the DNA.
Disgusting.
You should do a podcast with that futon.
Yeah, just disgusting. Disgusting, but
that futon and Cort's old dog Hank. If you could get those two, a seance with Hank.
Talk, man.
Oh yeah.
But I remember we'd pull the futon out, the futon would be there, and it'd just be like, CDs all over this table with, blow on them, and there'd be bottles of vodka and Jack Daniels, and
this is just the party place.
Just party. And some girl would be here, whatever it be, all the, you could black this place out.
Was Wee Hill a cool scene back then? Was it like
what?
Was Wee Hill, West Hollywood, like a cool area back then?
Well, there used to be a club on the corner up here where there's that Korean barbecue. It's called Atlantic. And Atlantic was like the guys that used to run Roxbury had that club, and it was like it was great. It was good. It was a good time. And
you could get in everywhere, or was it not a problem?
Oh, you get anywhere. I knew everybody.
Just because you knew them.
I knew everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, because after a while, now you've been around for so long,
you know everybody. You know.
Almost once you get into the one thing, like this is the guy from that thing.
Yeah, people just, and then it's important for the bouncers and those guys and the guys that run the clubs to know who these kind of people are.
But also, also you remember, I was a very good customer.
Yeah.
I was a hardcore. I was a drinker.
So they wanted you there anyway.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd spend $150 in booze in a night.
Did the cops ever come in and like raid places like that?
Never.
Even though it was just coke flowing.
But you would never see it it was never like out on the tables or
not like weed is.
No, nothing like that. But I remember one night I was here and it was like 9 o'clock in the morning. I walked out and there's like some girl laying on the futon with like a dildo in her ass and like there's just oil
sticking
everywhere.
out.
Yeah, and it was just and she passed out and it was just like I was like, ugh, I got to get a new life.
Really?
Yeah, it was like to the point.
It was like a moment.
It was like it was a moment. It was a moment because I'd about 6 months before that I'd had the heart attack. The one that like.
Should have woken you up.
Should have woken me up.
Yeah.
And that one didn't. And it was like... And
you stayed in the hospital for that?
Then you had a morality heart attack.
No, I had I was at the Hard Rock Hotel in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I'd been up for 3 days. And I remember I was on the shitter. I was on the shitter with my like underwear around my ankles. And like Saturday...
Like Elvis, right?
Yeah. Like 5:30 in the afternoon. Trying to take a dump, and I mean, I hadn't eaten anything in 3 days.
What are you gonna dump
I don't know why, but I'm just sitting in there, and I was like, and all of a sudden, I started sweating profusely, and my heart started beating really hard. Then I lost all the feeling on one whole side of my body.
Whoa!
And I was just sitting on the toilet, and I honest to God, I swear to God, I'm not famous enough to die on the shitter. Nobody knows, nobody's going to know me.
Yeah.
To be some unknown kid from LA that dies on the shitter, and I'm like 36 years old. I'm not a kid now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so I crawled off the fucking toilet.
How old are you now?
47.
Okay, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
It's not even that long ago, really.
Yeah, and then I crawled off the shitter, crawled on the bed, and I laid there for like an hour and a half. And I like laid there and just was like...
Try to get your bearings?
Trying to get my breath and everything. And so I started finally breathing fine. My heart quit beating hard. I didn't have any chest pain anymore. And then all the feeling came back, and I was like, oh, and I was like, kind of started feeling kind of normal again, and everything was like, and everything was fine, and I was like, oh, I feel much better. And then my buddy leans in the door and he goes, "What are we doing tonight?" And I go, "I don't know." And I just did a big fat line and went out.
Oh my God!
And went out and partied that night.
And that was a heart attack.
And that was a heart attack.
How do you know? You went to the doctor later?
I went to the doctor later,
and they were like, "What the?"
Yeah, they said, "Yeah, you had a mild."
Jesus,
that was a mild one.
Very mild one, yeah.
A big one came later?
No, that was the one. That was the one that did.
And you could just keep going?
I kept going that night, and I did not. And
wait, that's not the one where you were all numb in one arm?
That was the one I was all numb in that arm. Yeah, and then I ended up.
You went out and drank that night.
I went out and drank that night.
Warrior, bro.
Yeah, I was a warrior, and then I went for another like 6 months, and then one day I just said I got to quit. So
was it hard to clean up?
I mean, a little bit.
Did you go to rehab or anything?
No, I just started going to those goddamn AA meetings.
Those help, huh?
They do. But I'll be honest with you. It's like at that point you're doing so much shit. It's like I was tired, man. Yeah. It's not fun at that point. It's not funny.
Yeah,
it's not funny. It's like when I see people now. It's like I don't care if people drink. I love it. I love hanging out with people that drink and have fun and smoke pot and do all that stuff. But I mean, I was never a mild at anything. I never did a little bit of anything. Okay. Like I would wake up and I'd have a big turkey baster bag full of like a half pound of weed in my thing.
Yeah.
And I would wake up and I break out like a fist-sized bud in the morning, and I put it on the table here, and I just let it dry out, and I would smoke that
through the day.
Yeah, and so I never did anything like a little bit.
Yeah,
so it was good. It was like and so I don't mind being around people that have fun. But you see that it's like you see someone that's like, doing blow at like 38, 39, 40.
It's different then, right? It's like,
yeah, like you see someone 22, 23, some girl going out doing ecstasy. It's like, who cares? Yeah, you should.
When you're the guy at the rave at 41, dude.
You got issues, man. And
I'm sure they'll be like, no, I still enjoy it. Why can't I? It's like, I know you still enjoy it, but come on. Yeah. They're not enjoying you.
Yeah. So anyway, that's that thing. No idea what this is, but we'll just answer that and then hang it up.
That's what you do?
Yeah.
Why don't you just let it go to voicemail? You don't even want them saying the voicemail? Man.
Nobody has my home number. That's just some guy selling me something.
Oh, yeah. Good point. That's probably what it is. You used to do that with your home number. You're like, I don't know the number. Anybody calls a telephone.
Never. And even now, I don't even answer my house phone.
Yeah. I don't have a house phone anymore.
Yeah.
Our number, the cable that we have now, the person comes up on the TV.
Yeah.
Like the number and the name of the person.
You're so
I'm like,
sophisticated.
Forget it. You're done. I don't know who that person is.
Yeah.
There was a lot of. Oh, I'm sorry. There was a lot of weed involved too. I mean, that was just kind of maintenance. Was weed?
Oh, weed was there.
Just to get you through the day.
Daily.
Weed, pills, coke, any hair on?
No, but booze too. I mean,
Booze?
you're talking about like a fifth
booze.
of vodka.
I did heroin once.
That'd be enough to destroy me.
I did heroin once, but I was so coked out. There's no way that it had any effect.
Wow.
I smoked heroin in a car with a buddy of mine once, but I was so coked out.
Were you scared at all to do it?
No.
It's like, oh,
no.
cool, heroin.
Yeah.
They're waiting for this.
Bring it.
What else? Meth?
One time I snorted speed. I didn't ever smoke crystal meth. I never smoked crack, or I used to freebase back in the early 80s.
What is freebase? When you heat the spoon?
Freebase is back when you used to take cocaine and you take it in a vial and you would cook it until all the purity came out. All the pure coke would rise to the top.
Yeah.
And then you would scrape that out. It would be like a paste. And you would scrape it out and you would put it on a mirror.
Yeah.
And it would like a paste. And then you wait for it to dry.
Yeah.
And after it dried, you would take it and you would smoke it.
Oh,
it was
wow.
pure. Like crack is like 2% cocaine and like 98% fucking Clorox and bleach.
But this was just the pure.
This pure coke.
Freebase.
Oh,
was that what that song was? It was
the best.
The Freebase song?
What freebase song?
It's like fruit.
What?
I'm so bad at singing. it was like a
Come
black.
on.
Is it a rap song?
It was a rap song. Freebase. It's like free. Bass.
Oh wait, hold on.
Freebase was good. Freebase was good.
Free rock.
Yeah, that. What song is that?
Hold on, I know what you're talking about. Oh my god. Yeah, I know.
So surprised you got it from what I did.
Just from that little phrase you did, I was like,
yeah, rock. It almost sounds like
it's like a cautionary tale, right? Isn't it a cautionary tale rap?
Bass, rock. What song was that?
Very different than crack, though.
Okay, very different.
Very different than crack.
So freebase, that would get you to die, or no? Was that more deadly or anything, or dangerous?
It was dangerous, but no. I mean, not any more than shooting it.
Were people ODing at all around you?
Huh?
Were people ODing all around you at all, or not really?
Not really. Not so much.
So in your 20s, while this was all going on, was there any thought of quitting? Or was it just like, no, it's fine? Like people ask me to stop
not really in my
smoking pot.
20s. Not really in my 20s. But, because it got progressively worse. It was like really weird. It got really bad in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like when I still lived in Oklahoma, like I was actually at the point where I was actually shooting it.
You were shooting up what?
Coke.
You shoot coke?
I shot coke back.
Wow. Is that like how you cook it? No, that's heroin. You cook it and then to the
you just put this stuff in just like a spoon and you used to shoot it. But that was like, but then it was like shooting and freebasing, and then that was in Oklahoma, and then I moved to California, and I quit all that shit, and then kind of stopped, cooled all my shit down, got my life, started working, doing everything, and then like about 89, 90s when it started, like I was.
When was the strike? What year was the strike?
88, 89.
I had an old SAG Screenwriters Guild strike T-shirt. And I got it, and then they struck the new time like a month after that, and I couldn't wear the T-shirt. It wasn't ironic enough.
It's too bad.
Can I ask a question about if we can get to the vagina again?
Oh, yeah.
Just how many times have you been to the Playboy Mansion, and roughly how many playmates have you had relations with? If you can guesstimate.
I've probably been to the Playboy Mansion 30.
During the real parties or like the fake rent out parties?
The real parties.
Okay.
Probably. Well, once he started having parties again, I went to. I don't know, a bunch.
Bunch. And then the follow up was also how many?
There's been a few.
A lot.
But you got to remember, I used to host.
Did you fuck at the Playboy Mansion with a playmate?
You're not allowed to, right?
Oh yeah,
You can?
Oh yeah, I did get a blow job leaning against the monkey cages, which was fantastic.
Wait.
Well, there's
were
a
you
zoo
leaning forward and her back was to the monkey cage, or was you leaning backwards?
I was leaning back, and I was.
Were the monkeys in the cages?
They absolutely
were.
Were
They being taunted? What?
Absolutely, they were.
Were you at all afraid they would reach out?
No, because we were down on a part where they couldn't,
Okay.
Couldn't get towards you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all they do is go for the rip dicks off.
I didn't think you were allowed to have. I thought if they caught you, they'd be very like you would be.
Well, it probably wouldn't be a good thing, but
Yeah.
But
I assumed that you just go to the side room and you just do it.
Well, there's
Or a
like
corner.
different rooms. There's like in the game room, there's a room that you can go in. But I mean, it's like there's nothing original about that. Everybody fucks in that room. Everybody goes in the grotto, which is just disgusting.
Yeah.
Everybody, the tennis courts is a good place.
Yeah, but so like the first couple times you went, where you're like, oh, okay, you like scoped the place out. You're like, I'd fuck a girl there.
I will
I'd
say
fuck a girl
though,
there.
in the heyday
question,
of
Steve.
it, I will say that place is everything that not so much now, but back,
No.
5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember I went for Hef's like 80th birthday or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That was like 5-6 years ago. It was one of the best parties I've ever been to in my life.
Yeah.
And tons of blow and stuff there. Why? How could it not?
Not probably, but very, very, very cool there.
But like
very, very,
yeah.
very cool. I mean, like very few people smoking weed. I mean, it's like it's
regal, right? Like it's
very yeah. I mean, it's kind of like the nice thing about going there that was really cool about it. That back when it was his parties was that when you went in, if you were a guy, because there was like one guy to 4 girls.
Yeah.
And they were all playmates or Playboy models or some really hot chick, because back then they used to have a list of girls, and they would only allow the girls. They would invite you. Was all invited. So
Did you feel that?
What? Earthquake?
Yeah.
Maybe. No, I didn't.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm hyperactive.
There was one yesterday.
I heard. Yeah. Sorry.
So wait. So they only invited the girls that were DTF?
Oh well, I don't know about so much down the fuck, but let's put it this way: they had their list of really hot girls, and they were invited.
Okay,
and it was very difficult to get on that list. You had to send in pictures, and so there were no fat chicks,
like a kidney list.
Yeah, no fat chicks,
none,
no fat chicks.
Like we're not going to. So if you were invited and you brought a fat chick, what would they do?
You can bring nobody. Like a playmate cannot bring her boyfriend to the Playboy Mansion.
Of course not.
Nobody. So a chick.
So boys can't bring anybody.
There's no such thing as +1.
Oh.
No such thing as +1.
So you're just like, when I get there, I'll meet people that I know.
When you get there, you'll see people you know, and you'll hang.
That would be so horrible for me. I'd be so uncomfortable.
Yeah, there's no such thing as +1.
I'm like, who do I talk to?
Would you go if they were like, you're like, I know I'm the only person I know that's going? Would you still go?
If it was like before I'd ever been and realized it was and it was one of those half parties like the Halloween thing or something, I guess I would just to go. But I know I wouldn't have a good time until if somebody was cool to me and became friends with me, then I would.
But that's the cool thing is those parties were always like everybody was cool. There wasn't like it wasn't like you sat in cliques. Girls wandered around.
Nobody came with any friends.
Oh, it's just chicks running around in nothing, and just
for real nothing.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you after like 2:30, 3 o'clock, there'd be tons of naked chicks in the pool, and it was like
what time did they go until?
Whenever
sun up.
I mean, the latest I was there once was like 4:30
a.m.
And he's there. Is he there present the whole time?
He goes to sleep.
He goes to sleep.
He goes up.
He doesn't care.
But the best place to meet chicks, the best place is on the shuttle leaving. Like, get on the shuttle, and like there's like
as you're going home.
Yeah, because you park at like UCLA,
and
then they
UCLA, and you get on a shuttle. Just go get on the shuttle with like 10 drunk girls in fucking lingerie,
who are
leaving, and it's like, why don't we go do something? Why don't we go somewhere? I'll get you something to eat.
Eat your box.
Cock.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. I got laid more times just on the shuttle coming out of there than
The shuttle.
Did you ever just try to take a shuttle up over and over until?
No, I didn't.
Never win
You
the
would
party.
have to. One shuttle ride and you're good.
Wow.
One shuttle ride, you're good to go.
Jesus. Wait, there was something else I was going to ask, but I don't remember what it was. That must have been amazing, though.
Those were fun.
I don't know. You don't have to answer it. Give me the top 5 people that we would know that you have had relations with.
Oh, that's not really. That's
I figured.
All right,
I got to ask though.
Yeah.
You got to ask that question.
Who else? Did you do it with a lot of stars? You were around them. You must have.
not a lot.
Were you more into trying to get someone who you recognized from TV or movies than you were just regular? You didn't care.
No, just
Would you
hot
prefer
girls.
not, or you didn't care?
Prefer not.
It was. I feel as long as I've known Cort, it's never been a situation where he's just come up with a story and told me about it. It would be like, "Oh, I'm going to this party and this band's playing. It's a pretty well-known band." And he'd be like, "Oh, tell this person I said hello." And I'm like, "Oh, how do you know this person?" He'd be like, "Oh, we had intercourse like in '91." And they're like, "It's the lead singer of this band." And you're like, "Oh, okay."
Tell them hi.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, just like random things like that come out. You're like, oh, okay. That's a very famous person that if I had sex with that person, I would have a T-shirt that said I had sex with that person.
Yeah, that doesn't do much. Yeah, the whole famous.
Were those annoying to deal with? Movie starlets?
There was like, yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying because they're never by them. There's never like by themselves.
Did you do red carpet shit?
Yeah, I did some red carpet stuff.
Yeah, were those okay?
Yeah, they were fun. The best time I ever had was the funnest time I ever had was like I went to this thing for the Screen Actors Guild, this big dinner they had at this huge mansion in Beverly Hills, like one of those ones that like has the fountains and the back, that like something you see in Beverly, the ridiculous thing, like nobody wants. It's
crazy
just,
posh.
Yeah, just awful, with like fountains and everything. They had it all in the backyard, and I sat at a table with Larry Hagman and his wife, and his mother, Mary Martin, who was Peter Pan on Broadway, sat next to me.
Larry Hagman's mom?
Yeah, it was Mary Martin, who played
Peter Pan
on Broadway.
Wasn't Larry? Oh, Larry Hagman.
Larry Hagman.
I was thinking the boxer. Who's the boxer?
Robert Stack.
Hagler.
Oh, yeah.
Robert Stack was at our table. Don Rickles and his wife.
Whoa.
And
that's cool.
There was one, I can't remember who the other person was, but I sat there and I talked to Larry Hagman like he was hammered.
Yeah.
Hammered. Like red-nosed hammered. Like that fucked up.
Are you sober now, or are you still using?
No, I'm drinking one for one with him, just hanging out, having a good time.
Dallas.
Yeah, you got it.
And I'm dancing with his mom, and like they have a band, so I'm like dancing. And Entertainment Tonight was there, like who's the like I was like her young stud or something.
With Peter Pan.
And the weird thing was, my PR person. I had a PR person at the time. Had me there. I was by myself. They just had me there, so I was like,
"Oh, really?"
Yeah. So I ended up sitting with these people, having a great time, and then as we were getting up to leave, as everybody's getting up to leave, it was on the lawn. I stand up, and everybody stands up, and I'm talking to Larry. I keep talking to Larry, and I pull the chair out for his mom. She stands up, I pull her chair out, and we talk, and we still talking and talking. She goes to sit back down. I pulled her chair out, and she just bam, hits the fucking ground. Like, flat out. She's like 80, man.
Oh, no.
And I thought, oh, my God, I killed Peter Pan,
You just did it as a joke?
No, I didn't do it. I mean, I did it as a gentleman to pull her chair out when she stood up. But we stood there so long that she just goes to sit back down. I didn't know it. Didn't know the chair was gone.
Good one.
It just goes right down on all the way back. And I thought, oh, my God, this is going to be like, it was such a great day. The whole time, and I'm like,
yeah, this is where it all goes bad.
Kills Peter Pan.
Yeah, young heartthrob kills Peter Pan, and then he looks down at her and he goes, "Mom, how many times I tell you not to drink scotch at these things?" He just jerks her up and just fucking leaves, and I'm like,
Really?
"Oh, that was awesome. I got out of that one."
Did you think this was going to go on forever at some point? Were you like, "This is going to be my career. I'm going to be a star. I'm going to be with these people"?
No,
You must have, right? Really?
No, I'm paranoid. I always think it's going to end tomorrow.
Wow.
I don't know. For some reason, I never
Really?
thought it was
Even when
gonna
you were
be.
in these movies and they were coming out, people were recognizing you, right?
Yeah, but
the
it
street?
does. Yeah, but it just, I don't know, man. I think it's such a bullshit thing. Fame is. I don't think
it's weird.
I mean, I remember when it was like at the height of it all. It's a little uncomfortable. It's a little weird. I mean, Steve, you get it now from the league.
Yeah, it is strange.
It's a little uncomfortable because it's people that you don't know at all, that don't know you from Adam. They don't know one thing about you.
What a save.
And then all of a sudden they're like, they like come up to you and they kind of
say things to you.
They say things that are like, and you're very grateful.
Like what?
Just like they want you to say lines, like they want you to do your lines, and they're like, "Oh, hey, Quinton," and, and they come up and they, and then it's kind of okay, and you appreciate it, and then it's like I remember I went to a movie theater once with that chick from Teen Wolf, and we like walked in the theater. I was in Westwood, and the manager of the theater comes up and starts talking to me, and I'm like, "Oh, this is embarrassing," and he's like, go sit down, I'll bring you whatever you want, just go sit down." And I'm like, I just want to get a Coke and a popcorn.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'll take care of you. And
sometimes they make it more of a bigger deal than than it is.
Like, I just want to go to a movie.
Yeah,
man,
come on, dude.
Yeah, and it was so that kind of stuff got kind of weird.
It's nice sometimes, I guess. Though, remember when we were trying to go into Vegas and you were in line, we couldn't get in. That's why we played the when you were on Punk'd, Steve.
Oh, vaguely.
Yeah, it was like there was just a line. We couldn't get in. We didn't know you then.
Anybody who ever says, "Do you know who I am?"
Yeah.
Don't you know who I am? Deserves to be shot like the guy eating a guy's face.
We tried to go to the front. I went to the front, and we was like, "I'll just try." I was like, "Hey, I got Steve Rannazzisi from Punk'd here." He said Ashton might be here soon. I think I was.
Did it work?
Yeah, it worked. You got in.
It did?
Yeah, and you were like, "Yeah, Ashton might be coming."
We were in Vegas?
Yeah, remember that with Tracy?
I don't remember that.
We went into a nightclub, and I think Kim also.
Really?
Yeah, sorry.
I don't remember that.
Why?
Tough memories.
That's not a bad memory.
I like reminding people of girlfriends they've long gotten over. Like it was never a problem. It's like we were dating for like 2 weeks. 8 years ago.
It's so funny because her husband Todd was at our house this morning. Kim and Todd slept over last night, and he's a huge fan of the podcast, so he'll definitely be listening to this, which is great.
I like that guy Todd. I met him. He's nice.
Yeah, he's a super great guy. But yeah, that's another thing. It's like for all the time, like I don't know, for all the accomplishments, let's just put it that way, that Cort's had, you wouldn't know it.
No, you're right.
You wouldn't know it.
Super normal.
Yes.
Not to mention you have all those friends that you do things that are just great. Like you go to the Super Bowl every year and
love the Super Bowl.
the championship, NCAA football games, and like you're just
forget
there.
that. Go walk an 18-hole major championship during a golf tournament with Cort.
You've had a crazy life. I didn't hear from you. I heard it from Steve about you, or maybe it was Simone. But at some point,
I always thought you hated me when I first met you.
Oh, everyone thinks Ari
until
hates
last
them.
week. You were an asshole.
Until you said yes to do the podcast.
So you finally booked me at your room. Until you said yes to the podcast. No, I'm just quiet. It comes off as dick.
No, because I've known you for 8-9 years, longer, maybe longer, almost 10 years now, and it's like, and not that you were ever not nice to me or anything like that. You just never would say anything.
All right.
You would just never talk to me. And then we struck up a conversation about golf once.
Yeah.
And then we've been friends ever since.
Yeah, that's how it works at the store and every comics in general. Everyone's like, this guy didn't like me, it's mean. And it's like, no, we're all just antisocial. Yeah. You just need an excuse to start talking. And then what you do, you're like, oh yeah, everyone's fine and nice.
Yeah, some people are there because they just do their spots and they leave. Some people are there and they don't like, and then some people are antisocial. We gotta go do the show.
Yeah. Just go to the Improv. Steve Rannazzisi is headlining.
Yes, he is.
All right.
And we're doing 10.
By the way, Cort is a scratch golfer, which makes me even more sick.
When you play golf, it's disgusting.
It is fun.
You're like, fuck, 290.
He does put some fantastic curse words together on the course, though.
Yeah, I like it.
If he misses a 5-footer for birdie, he said some words that have been insensitive to other golfers.
The thing you said that I really liked was you were just like, it was just such a place of peace. Or it's because we all get overcome with like, I gotta make it, even though I don't even know what that means. Really,
I don't know what it means anymore either.
I used to know, but then it was like, no, there's no making it. Every actor's trying to get another job. But like, you were like, I don't know, I live in a sweet place down by the beach. One of your friend's house used to live in.
When you lived in Hermosa.
I go to the Super Bowl every year.
Well, I think when it comes
going well.
But you know what's weird is like I think in your 20s and 30s you grow up going like I want to make it to this or I want to do this so that I can do this so that I can do this or whatever and it's like and I got to a point now where it's like I like the things I like to do. I like to play golf. I like to I like to do these. I like to do that. Whatever. It's like I'm not going to not do those things now
So that you can get ahead and showbiz.
So that I can, whatever. It's like if shit happens, shit happens.
Yeah.
Because it's all fucking luck anyway.
Yeah, but a lot of it too is like the life now. You're living it now. So don't
have
wait
a great
till
life.
later. Like, do the shit you enjoy doing.
Exactly.
If you want to go to a Dodger game, just go.
Yeah. There are many millionaires out there that have not played Pebble Beach. Many.
Yeah.
And
many millionaire golfers.
Cort's played it probably 2 or 3 times.
What is that trophy from?
That's from TPC.
TPC. You won a trophy. 2011.
That was last year. Yeah, won that tournament.
Amen Corner champion.
That's the Ray Romano tournament. That's the Hack and Sack tournament. I won that one. There's one in there from the Mercedes.
You gonna try to be a senior golfer?
I think I am.
I tell him, I go, you gotta just.
I think I am.
50,
I only got a
right?
couple
50?
years. Yeah.
That was always a big issue. Do they let in people that weren't famous before? And they're like, yes, you do, because you got to play fairly. You can't just let in stars in golf.
Yeah.
You got a real chance, right?
I could see what happens.
As long as you don't get like a herniated disc or something.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
You're gonna go. Like that's already a plan. You're gonna go for that.
I'm gonna try. I'll try to qualify for some when I turn 50. But like this year, I'm playing the U.S. Amateur. I'm gonna try to qualify for the U.S. Amateur, the U.S. Mid Amateur.
You ever qualify for any of those?
I never qualified for them. I qualified for the U.S. Pub Links once, but not the.
I hate to get. What? Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I hate to get serious. Do you think that anything you ever did, either drug related or any of that stuff, ever, put a pause in your career or something? Like, do you ever look back with not a regret? I don't want to use the word regret, but
absolutely.
Would you go if I had just kind of kept it together for this amount of time?
I remember I went to an NYPD Blue audition one time. I was with a bunch of guys. We drove back from Vegas. Drove all the way back from Vegas, and I had a thing on Monday, and I did coke all day Sunday, all the way back, and I had an audition on Monday. And I remember sitting in the audition, and I had to be real emotional, but I was so hungover and so I had no emotion, nothing. I remember just sitting there looking at her and go, "This isn't working for you, is it?" And she goes, "Nope." And that was it.
Yeah.
Never got called back for that show.
Were you able to be like, fuck, was it because of coke? Or you were like, whatever, I should have tried harder?
No, I knew what it was.
You knew what it was?
Yeah.
And did you let yourself see that, or were you just like...
I didn't let myself see it till much later.
Okay.
But I was an idiot.
Yeah.
Steve, great questions today.
Thanks, man.
Fill in.
That's plain question. I thought about it on the plane.
Oh, really?
I should have been listening to sets because...
Because you don't know what you're doing.
I know what I'm doing.
You didn't get fat, by the way.
Thank you.
Not enough chicken farms. All right, our show's in 12 minutes.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks, Cort.
Yeah, thanks, Ari.
That was great. I like how you were like, I don't know if anything I have is interesting. I was like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
You're doing lines with Robert Downey Jr. You're doing like the fucking little tramp thing where you're snorting at each other, touching noses in the middle.
Huge lines of coke where you Eskimo kiss in the middle.
Music playing,
all right, rad. Thanks, guys. Oh, wait. Do you guys have anywhere you're going to be? Cort, you're running the...
Empire Comedy every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Paris Hotel in Las Vegas.
When people ask me, like, what's there to do in Vegas comedy-wise, if I'm not there, I'm like, check out Cort.
Yeah, we got Steve.
I'm there this weekend.
You're coming in August. We got everybody there, man.
Yeah, you got good lineups.
Dom Herrera.
Yeah.
We got
and people stop in when they're there, too.
Yeah, Jim Jeffries.
Sebastian was there last weekend.
We got Jim Jeffries and Eddie Ifter going to do a thing there next Thursday. We got Josh Blue's going to be.
So it's out there.
Yeah, whoever.
It's good that we can see that.
I'm at the Stress Factory next weekend.
What's
the
that?
7th, 8th, and 9th.
Okay. I'll hear this one this weekend.
In Jersey, if anyone's in Jersey listening. You were just there, right?
No, I'm going in August.
Awesome.
I'll come say hi to you when I'm there.
I'll be here.
Oh, great.
Cool.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ari.
What's your Twitter address? I'm trying to promote people's Twitter, too.
Oh, mine's Cort McCown. CortMcCown.
Okay. Steve Rannazzisi. ST. Yeah. RANNAZZISI. Boom. That's the episode, you guys. Did you enjoy it? That was fun as fuck, right? That was a good one. Cort's a really nice guy. You guys, if you ever get a chance to say hi to him or meet him, he's a super, super nice guy. That's what AA does to a lot of people. It just turns you nice. It takes out the bite from your personality, and it just turns you nice. It's weird. But it did it to Cort, I guess. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what? Most people I know went through AA. They're just... After you get past the first couple months of AA, the first few months, you're really weird. But then after that, it just turns everybody pleasant and nice. It's like what Christianity should be. That's what AA is. That's what AA turns people into. All you have to do is sleep in the gutter like 9 nights in a row, and then you're a great Christian sober alcoholic. So thank you very much to Cort and Steve. I appreciate it. Please follow them both on Twitter. That show we had ended up being really fun. Thank you, Steve, for putting me on it. Other people he was upset that the main guy from Comedy Central wasn't going to show up, but like 8 other people did, so I think they all really liked him. And I believe that you will be seeing very soon the Steve Rannazzisi 1 hour special on Comedy Central. If not, I'm telling him he should pitch a fucking 15-minute show, because he's got the league, so he's not allowed to do 30-minute shows. But I'm like, why not do you can do 15-minute shows at like Cartoon Network, because they have Adult Swim. So like Paul Scheer, he does that CSI whatever knockoff on Cartoon Network, which I've seen once and it was really funny. But you can only do 15-minute shows. So he's like, well, it seems like Adult Swim is the only way to go. But I'm like, no, what the fuck? Why not? You're a hilarious guy and you're sort of a star now. So just pitch him a 15-minute show. Who cares? They'd be lucky to have you on there. Anyway, Hollywood talk. So that's everybody. Please go to my website, arithegreat.com. I put extra features on here. There's a clip of all these great quotes from that I found from each episode of the Skeptic Tank, and also my other podcast, my sports podcast, Punch Drunk. You guys can contact me through that website. If you have any questions, by the way, any relationship or sex questions, I am still working on that podcast with the provider, the hooker, or the prostitute from Prostituti Frutti. We're going to do a Love Lines type show, a Dr. Ruth type show. So we've already recorded like 10 or 12. We're going to get a few more, and then we're going to launch it. So if you have any questions, like this one guy asked about eating ass and how we could get that done with his wife. She's not into it, but he really wants to try it. So how would that happen? So we just talk about it. It's a short, sweet podcast. So if you have any questions, please write in to contact@arithegreat.com. And I will read them, and if they're good enough, I'll read them on the air. I won't use your name. Don't worry about it. And that's it. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Hit up my sponsors, Amazon, Spotify, and Gamefly. And you guys are cool for tuning in. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And Shroomfest, by the way, not too soon. Shroomfest is July 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. So one of those days, figure it out and have your trip. Join in. It's a fucking movement, you guys. Join in. Get other people involved. Fuck correcting racism. Fuck stopping war. Fuck Occupy Wall Street. Just do mushrooms July 21st, 22nd, or 23rd. That's how you get involved as a young citizen of Earth. You do mushrooms July 21st, 22nd, or 23rd. It's Shroomfest. I got to start doing interviews for this soon to get the word out. It's a month away. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys very much for tuning in. If you don't know about Shroomfest, by the way, here's what it is. It's an international mushroom festival where people all over the world, I don't know why I'm doing this on an episode that talks about, that we talk to a sober alcoholic, but it's everywhere. So wherever you are, just do your mushrooms. That's how you participate. You can do it in Scotland. You can do it in China. You can do it anywhere. People all over the world did it last year. This is year 2, and it's just going to get bigger and more fun. So a lot of people take it as their opportunity to do mushrooms for the first time. Absolutely go for that. People are like, aren't you scared if a kid gets some? Fuck no. If you're over 12, by all means, I say go for it. They just grow. If you live in the Northwest, they just grow out there. So it's not like you even have trouble finding them in a lot of places. In Missouri, they just grow on shit piles. Just go get some. Enjoy yourself. I mean, be safe about it. Don't, like, cross a major freeway while you're about to do them. But, like, on foot. But, like, go to the woods and fucking have fun. I had friends in high school who did mushrooms, and they loved them. They loved it. They just said it tasted like shit, which they don't, by the way. You just chew them up. Anyway, you can do 1 cap, 2 caps. You can do 1 gram, 2 or 3 grams, whatever you want. 5 grams. My friend Ryan told me that he tried them in Amsterdam for the first time, and he didn't like him. And I was like, what did you like? I'm like, I don't know, it was just strong. I was like, well, how much did you take? He said he took 10 grams of mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms, which I was like, of course, that's so much. That's so much. And even then, by the way, nothing bad happened to him physically, just so you know. It was just a bad trip. It was just too much for him after like a few hours. But like, he's still fine. Like, he didn't stunt his growth. Nothing bad happened to him physically at all. The last thing, it was just a bad night. But doing 10 grams of mushrooms your first time would be like drinking a bottle of tequila your first time, and then saying you don't like alcohol. Like, no, you overdosed on it. You took way too much. That's not good. Anyway, so Shroomfest, July 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Get involved. Do it your way. You can do it 1 day. You can do it 3 days. You can do it 2 days. You can do whatever the F you want. Yeah, that's it. All right at the end. Stop cursing. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. Until next week, we're back to Mondays with another Skeptic Tank this coming week. Maybe Brendan Walsh. Yeah, maybe Brendan Walsh.